They say the dead should rest in peace, but in a forgotten village in Istria, one man did not. This is the terrifying true story of Jure Grando, the world's first documented vampire. It began in the small village of Kringa, in what is now Croatia. The year was 1656. Jure Grando, a humble stonemason, had just died. He was buried in the village cemetery, a simple grave, a quiet funeral. But death was only the beginning. In the nights that followed, something began to knock on doors, a slow, hollow knock. And whenever someone heard it, within days, they would be dead. The villagers whispered a name in fear: Strigan, the undead, the cursed, the vampire. They said it was Jure, come back, for 16 years. 16 years. The terror continued. People locked their doors. Crosses were hung. But the knocking never stopped. Worst of all was what happened to his widow, Ivana. She claimed that Jure came to her bed in the dark, cold, grinning, rotting, forcing himself upon her night after night. And she could do nothing but pray for morning. What do you call a man who dies and still has the power to destroy? One night, the village priest, Father Giorgio, had enough. He stood in the darkness as the creature approached, holding up a crucifix, and shouted, "Behold Jesus Christ, vampire, leave us in peace." The vampire paused and began to weep. It turned and disappeared into the night, but the villagers knew that wouldn't stop him. Soon after, 9 men gathered. They brought lanterns, holy symbols, and a stake carved from hawthorn wood. Their goal: dig up the grave of Jure Grando. The soil was cold, the coffin creaked, and when they opened it, they found him, lying there, intact, not a sign of decay, smiling. They tried to stab him through the heart, but the stake bounced off, as if his body were stone. Only after hours of prayer, one man, Stepan Milicic, lifted a saw. He began to cut. The moment the blade touched flesh, the corpse screamed, a horrible, wet shriek, and blood gushed from the neck like the body had just died. Only then did the knocking stop. Jure Grando was finally dead, or so they hoped. What makes this story different is simple. It's real, not a novel, not a campfire tale. His case was written down by Johann Weikhard von Valvasor in 1689, the first documented vampire in European history, long before Dracula, long before folklore turned fangs into fantasy. And today, the village of Kringa still remembers. There's a plaque, a vampire-themed bar, and an old grave somewhere among the stones where something once refused to rot. So the next time you hear a knock on your window at night, ask yourself, do the dead ever really stay dead?